Hi everyone, I'm Emily Shire, Bustle's politics editor, and we are so lucky to have the Grammy-winning Sheryl Crow with us today because she's launching a new campaign on change.org. You should all sign the petition to shorten our election cycles, and we're going to talk to her about them.
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Could you explain to our viewers a little bit the overview of your campaign reform goal?
Yes. My goal is to put some civility back into our election process by shortening it. 2 years is too long for a campaign, certainly. And shortening it, we can stay more on issues. We'll have enough information to know about our campaigns, our election candidates. And what I would love to see is anyone who has any kind of concern about it to sign their name at change.org/makeitshort. And we will take our names to Capitol Hill and talk to the major parties, the DNC and the RNC, and try to come up with a thoughtful and logical way to address the issue of a very lengthy campaign like what we've seen.
I thought this is one of the standout parts of the petition when you note this election cycle has been extremely damaging and has incited fear and hatred in a country founded on the beauty of our differences and the desire to lift each person, no matter race, religion, political party, or economic status, to reach his or her fullest potential. And so I've been wondering, was there a specific moment or breaking point for you that led you to sign this petition?
Yeah, I'm a mom. I have 2 little boys. They're 9 and 6. And my 9-year-old came home from school and asked me for the liar or for the crazy man. And this is the kind of language he's hearing in school about the future president of the United States. I feel like it's been going on so long that no one, particularly the voter, benefits from 2 years of a lengthy election cycle. What winds up happening is the media outlets, the political outlets, the lobbyists, everyone is benefiting from this except for the voter. What we really care about, what the voters care about, is what does the future look like? What does it look like for my 6-year-old and 9-year-old? I don't want to hear the rest of it. So I think what we do is look at how other systems work in other countries. For instance, England's is, I think it's 48 days. Is that correct? Yeah. Obviously, we are a large country, and we have freedom of speech, which we definitely don't want to encroach on. I make my living from freedom of speech, so it's important to me. But I think that we can thoughtfully and logically and reasonably come up with some parameters to help us get through this process with civility so that we're not creating enemies out of neighbors.
I noticed that the language in the petition is very careful not to single out Democrats or Republicans. Mm-hmm. And you've been an outspoken Democrat. You don't hide your own political views. But why was it so important with this campaign to keep it a nonpartisan issue?
I'll be honest with you. I have in the years past been very outspoken. I've campaigned for different candidates. I've definitely gone out and carried the torch for climate change. So people know what my belief system is. But in this particular election, over the last 4 years, I've backed away and I've been thinking of everything from the standpoint of a mother. And I haven't wanted to see my name in paragraphs with any particular political candidate. I wanted to sit back and look at this from a place of reason. And what I've noticed is there has not been much reason in 2 years of this at all. And that's really been the impetus for this, is to lift up all of us by virtue of giving us a place where we can go to say, look, we're the constituent. You must honor what we want because you represent us. And so I'm encouraging anyone and everyone who has a concern about this process to put your hands so that we can go to Capitol Hill and make some differences.
How have you noticed the mudslinging in this election trickle down to everyday interactions in your life?
Well, I've seen a real climate of hate arise, and our political process is one that we should be proud of. We should feel proud of our election process, and we should feel great after we go and vote. And it's been, I think, a real just divisive election full of hate rhetoric, and I've seen people become really anxious. In fact, I've been very anxious about it, and when I turn the TV on, I feel like I've got to turn this off. It's just driving me crazy. And I'm trying to protect my kids from running into something that they shouldn't see. And so it's it's something that I've been thinking about just from the standpoint of being a mom, an American, a participant in our election process.
You talk so much about your kids. I was wondering if you remember the first election that, not even necessarily that you voted for, but that you remember really vividly in the conversations at home, and how that compares to the one in 2016.
Yes, it's fun to walk into Bustle and see all of you young guys. And I sound like a dinosaur, but when I was growing up, obviously there was no social media. The phone was on the wall, and it had a cord. And we watched TV. We basically watched the evening news, and we watched the debates. And I vividly remember watching the debate, my first election with Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter, who was the incumbent. And I had a Democrat mom and a Republican father, and there was a lot of discussion. Not quite as heated as it is now, but certainly a passionate discussion. And we were all of us that were of voting age were campaigned secretly, with knowing they were going to cancel each other's votes out, and it mattered, But the discussion was always about the direction of the country, and I'm feeling like this election has gotten away from that, and we need to pull it back, because there are a lot of you young people out there that this matters to, and the answer is not staying home and not voting. And it really matters, and it will give you a sense of pride going to the polls and exercising your right to vote, particularly your first one. Even though this is a very contentious election, it is your way of saying, I care about my future, and I'm going to voice my opinions, and then I'm going to hold my public servants' feet to the fire. And this is one way to do it, the petition.
And one of the first with this election, if this is your first time voting, is the prospect that we will have our first female president. And you actually wrote Woman in the White House in 2012. And I was wondering if you had a specific woman in mind when you were writing about it, or what motivated you to write it in a year when we had two male candidates as options.
Yes, I'll tell you that the impetus for that song was that we had 8 years of a lot of the same people in the White House there 8 years before, and it just reeked of good old boys network, and so it was sort of a lark to sit down and exercise my right to express myself, freedom of speech, and write a song about how would it be if a woman was in there, because don't most of us balance the family checkbook, and decisions, might they be more logical, because we'd much rather sit down over a cup of Taster's Choice and talk about it, as opposed to, suddenly threatening other countries, and that was the idea of it, obviously. And we didn't have a woman run. Well, actually, we did have a woman getting ready to enter the fray to run. But that was really the impetus of that song, of just imagining someday we will have a woman in the White House. And what might that be like?
And although you were not as outspoken about partisan politics this election, you did participate in John Oliver's Don't Use Our Songs. And so as a final question, I was wondering which songs you would pick for Donald Trump's and Hillary Clinton's campaign, if you can think of ones that...
Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, without dipping my toe into more of the muck, I'm just going to bring us back like anybody that's good in press and say, oh, that would be hard for me to say, but since we're really just talking about trying to shorten the process, I just want to encourage everyone to get out there and put your name on our petition.
I think you should consider a career in politics. That was an excellent answer.
No way. I'm not. No way. I'm a better mom. I'm a better rock star.
She certainly is. I mean, you would be an amazing politician, but a kick-ass rock star.
Oh, thank you.
This has been such a pleasure for us. Sheryl Crow, thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks,
Go
guys.
out and vote and sign the petition.
And sign the petition. We need you.